Hello everybody, it's time for a Missouri tune on the Mando, Lady on the Green from Cyril Stinnett, a Missouri fiddler that did a lot of great tunes, and a lot of them were in A, and this one's in A as well. And A is a great key for fiddle or mandolin, and we'll find out why right now. So we'll get Erynn to play some backup there. She's capoed on the second fret.
Oh boy.
And we'll see what happens here. So
It's a good tune for your spring and summer jams.
I'll see if I can get my fingers to find the right notes. So here we go. Lady on the Green. Like that.
Yeah, all right.
We got close to the green. We might be in the sand trap. I'm not sure, but
mandolin pickers playing that tune this festival season.
I think so. Well, I hope so. All right, thanks, Erynn. So we'll slide in there and learn a little melody of this tune, and it's got a nice rise and fall to it there, which I enjoyed there. And we get to do a little bit of low work and a little bit of high work there, so it balances out nicely. So let's first of all just find our A sounds for a second, because the chords there, if you noticed Erynn playing, you had an A chord. I'm just going to think of the low strings for a second here, and I always like to do these. You had an A chord going for 2 measures, and then the closest thing, I'm just borrowing the 2nd fret on the low strings. By low, I mean you're just taking that G chord, which is open, and taking that straight shape up to the 2nd fret bar. So a nice little close way to do it, you just take the bass string to the 1st fret, and you got a little small slant E. I'm just playing those low pairs. And that's the A to E. And then you're going to have a D chord, and again, I'm just going to stay in that one little territory and just open up on the D string. And so let's just do that for a fun little warm up there and checking our tuning there. So I'm borrowing 2 in the bass. There's my A chord. And then the 1st fret is 1 and 2 slant. Back to the bar 2. Then the open D string and the small slant. That's the first part. And they have that little D. And the first part and second part is the same chords, but let's look at a different way to back up the second part. So I'm just staying low, so let's move maybe. Let's see. Why don't we move middle strings or something? So you have an open string, you could do the same thing we did for D, that 2nd fret and open. Let's go. Maybe add a little movement there. So I've got the 2nd fret and the open. I'm in the middle strings, which is a D and A, but I'm putting the E note 2 and open, and maybe add just make it. So see, when you change your string sets, you get some different sounds. So it's just an A sound. I'm adding a little 2 and 4, the next note in my A chord. You got 2 of them, so you got 1 left. And if you think about it, if you separate those, you have arpeggios. So I'm just doing that for 2 string chord. E bar 2. And again, the same thing. But the D chord now could be open. Start thinking about moving around those string sets for your backup. But let's look at the melody of this Lady on the Green. So it starts out with a doo-da-bum. On the fiddle, they're doing doo-da-doo-da. But I think on the mandolin, I was just kind of going from 4. I was kind of fudging it a bit, just because the fiddle's going to be doing lower note. I'm just going to go 4, 6, 7. And then they did a, and I'm just going to slide from 1 to 2. So, okay, so that's my first phrase. 4, 6, 7, then a strum on the middle strings, and slide from 1 to 2 with getting a bar. And then it's going to go. So I'll do that slow a few times. I'll get up a little closer, you can see it there. So it's going to be, so. That's the first phrase, okay? And so let's do that a few times. 1, 2, pick up. Low string. And again, that's that bar at 8. But we have a little melody for 8. Okay, that's the first phrase. The next phrase is going to be that 2 to 6. Something like that. So I'm going from the low strings 4, 6, 4, 6, open D, and you could go to the 7. And you're back to that. So listen to that much of the first part there, okay? See, so make sure you're on the right string set, right fret. I go up to 7 and get that 4. Back to that. Okay, that's halfway through the first part. I'll do it again, a little slow. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna scoot there. So I've got 7 and 4. I'm using my 3rd and 1st finger. Then you're back to scoot back. Okay, halfway through, and we're gonna have that same phrase again. Let's see, is that right? Yeah, so coming around again, let's see, make sure, yes, right. And then the ending phrase is gonna come around. It's gonna be this right here. Scaly phrase, so it's going to be the 3rd string, and you could use the 7th fret on the 2nd string, but I'm using the 1st string for that E note, so really slow, climbing up, just listen how far you climb. That's, you go all the way to there, back down. That's our ending phrase. And that is our whole first part. So let me just do the whole first part another time for you. So 1, 2, pick up, slide low. So then you have that, from there, let's see, we do the slide. And actually, I think I told you we have a little climb. So I'll do that again. 1, 2, go. So in rhythm. Okay, that's the first phrase. I'll do it one more time. Then you have back to and the ending phrase. Repeat a little slower. Ending phrase. And actually, I think on the fiddle part, she goes. She does a little. She's doing the. I was doing. So you'll hear a little different there. Well, I was playing it maybe on the video, but she does, and I was doing. Both those sort of work. So I kind of like either one of those. So, and as you play a tune, you'll find that you'll change the way some of your phrases will kind of morph into a little different thing that you want to hear, or so that's part of the fun of playing fiddle tunes. You'll get a little different turn of the phrase, almost the same but a little different, which is the mark of a good musician that plays a lot. So, so here's the whole first part one last time. I'll try to do it the way the does that. We did kind of shorten that. So I kind of like shorten that. We'll repeat that. Keep going no matter what. If you start thinking too much, you're in trouble. So that's good to stop there. We'll go to the second part, and this is going to be a nice little. So let's just look at that first phrase. You have a nice syncopated 2 on the second string and open first string, and it's down up with a weight, and then the first string 2 open. So down, they're picking you going down, up, down, because it's like count-wise 1 and 2 and 3. Then you have. So let me just do those linked together a few times. 1, 2, second part. So let's do that a few times. Very nice phrase. Okay, that's the first phrase. Then you have, and you can do slides or hammers or just pick the notes. I think I like sliding there. So it's open, and slide from 4 to 2 on the second string. So let me do that a few times. That's a little bit unusual, so. So we're a little slower with the second part of that. Second phrase of the second part. 1, 2, starts that open. And then you get a nice phrase coming up. Let me do those 2 again. The second part starting, the starting 2 phrases. 1, 2, syncopate. Second phrase. Okay, one more time on that. 1, 2, second part. Very slow. Then we're getting into a really cool phrase. Reminds me of some other fiddle tunes. And I'm using my little finger on that second string 7th fret because I think it just sounds better. Then here we're going to climb up. Just try it a few times. It's an A scale, starting out. Then open first to 5 and 7. It's going to keep going. Let's just do that. That'll keep moving, but that's the. And if I keep going, it's going to be. And somebody might go. So I think I might have been doing that. When you play, like say you start playing the tune, you kind of takes its own form a little bit. So those notes, either one of those notes is good. So here's that ending phrase coming up with the whole, the tag at the very end too. Very scaly. I'll do that over and over a few times. So listen to the whole second part nice and slow. 1, 2, pretty slow. Keeps going. Ending phrase. You're going to repeat that part. The long climb. The ending phrase. We'll keep going to the first part. First part. No matter what happens, keep going. first part. It's pretty. Experiment with the finger too. Ending phrase. Second part. Syncopate. Ending phrase coming up. Scaly. Repeat the second part. In the ending phrase, you could do different things. You might go, we're going, this is more notes, you might do less. You might do, and everything in between. You know, experiment with the ending phrase a little bit, especially. But again, it's interesting how that little, and I was doing, so one's a little bluesier, one's a little prettier. So experiment if you got a little choice there sometimes. You might do it both ways sometimes as you play it. And a good fiddler, I think you'll find, does it different about every time, a little something different every time around. You don't realize it at first, but that's something I've found to be true. So try those chords, you know, on the just 2-string chords. I highly recommend doing the backup a little bit. This is really nice with that, with the, you know, the Missouri rules kind of thing coming in from A for 2 measures, and the E for 2 measures, then A, D, and E back to A. So that's a great formula for a lot of the Missouri tunes. So I think you'll find a lot of fun on that. And what I'll do one more time, as I did on the banjo, I'll do the chords one more time. You could try the melody nice and slow. So 1, 2, go. Repeat the first part. I'll get better on the chords if I'm lucky. Second part. I'll experiment. Repeat the second part. Remember that? Yeah. And you might have a tag. Maybe throw the D in there. And the melody could be in through. All right. So Lady on the Green, key of A. A lot of great A tunes out there. So I hope you already know and love a few, and that this will be added in there too. So take good care and enjoy Lady on the Green.